Stop. Seriously. Pause whatever you're doing right now. That jar of loose change on your dresser? The cup holder in your car? The forgotten drawer in your kitchen? You're sitting on what could be life-changing money, and you don't even know it. Nobody talks about this silent fortune. But behind closed doors, collectors are quietly fighting over coins that most people spend like pocket lint. The craziest part? Each coin we're about to uncover gets rarer, more dangerous to ignore, and exponentially more valuable. Stay with me. This changes how you look at every penny from now on. The 1928D wheat penny, the one you've already held. You know that weird feeling? Like something small in your life is more important than it looks? That's exactly what's happening with the 1928D wheat penny. Most people glance at it. Dull brown, slightly worn. Nothing special, and toss it aside. But what they don't realize is that this exact coin has triggered quiet bidding wars behind auction doors. Not loud, flashy sales. Intense, controlled, almost secretive competition. And if you miss this detail, you could literally spend away a fortune. Why 1928 matters more than you think. The year 1928 wasn't just another random date. It was the calm before the storm. The economy was stretched thin. Pressure was building. Just 1 year later, the Great Depression would hit like a shockwave. The U.S. Mint was operating under serious tension, producing coins when demand was unpredictable, and financial stability was slipping. That stress, that national pressure, translates directly into the coins minted that year. And the Denver Mint? That's where things get interesting. The D mint mark on this penny isn't just a letter. It's a signal. It tells collectors this coin came from Denver, where production numbers were much lower than Philadelphia. Fewer coins, more pressure. Less survival over time. Think about it. Coins from that era were used hard. They passed through thousands of hands during one of the toughest economic periods in U.S. history. People didn't save coins. They spent them to survive. So when a 1928D wheat penny shows up today, even in fine condition, it's already beaten incredible odds. What to look for and what not to do. Pick one up. Feel it. Weight, or 311 grams. Diameter, 19 mm. Composition, 95% copper with tin and zinc. That composition gives it a deep, aged tone, sometimes chocolate brown, sometimes with hints of red hiding underneath. And listen carefully, that original toning is everything. Never clean this coin, ever. The moment you wipe it, polish it, or try to improve it, you destroy the very thing collectors obsess over. The front obverse, Abraham Lincoln's profile. On a fine condition coin, the details are softened, the cheek, the jawline, the hair show wear, not damage. Collectors study this like a fingerprint. Above his head, in God we trust. In front, Liberty and the date, 1928. Paired with that tiny D under the year, it becomes something else entirely. The back, reverse, 2 wheat stalks framing 1 cent. Simple? Yes, but in that simplicity lies obsession. The spacing of the letters, the sharpness of the wheat lines, the balance of the design, collectors notice everything. The part most people miss. Millions were minted. But how many survived decades of circulation, war, economic collapse, and everyday use without being destroyed, melted, or lost? Very few. That's why even a fine 1928D can reach insane auction levels. We're talking up to $200,000 for a coin people still accidentally spend at gas stations. Do not spend this coin. Get it professionally graded. One small mistake can turn a life-changing opportunity into a worthless piece of metal. The 1950 no mint mark wheat penny, the most dangerous of all. If you think the 1928D is shocking, the next coin is on a completely different level. A 1950 wheat penny with no mint mark. Most people see that and think common. That assumption is exactly why fortunes are slipping through. Fingers every single day. This coin blends in, disappears in pocket change, and gets spent without hesitation. But serious collectors go dead quiet when they see it. Why 1950 is a fault line. The year 1950 sits right on a fault line in American history. The country had just come out of World War II. Industries were shifting. Then suddenly the Korean War was beginning. Metal demand was rising again. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to keep production steady while the nation transitioned into a new kind of global tension. And the Philadelphia Mint, the one that didn't use a mint mark at the time, was right in the middle of it all. Here's where it gets dangerous. A missing mint mark doesn't mean nothing special. It means it came from the main hub, yes, but also the place where massive production met constant strain. Dies were used longer. Machines ran harder. Quality shifted in ways collectors obsess over today. Because there's no mint mark, people don't think twice. That's the trap. What you're holding. Pick one up. Same specs as other wheat pennies. 3-point len G, jatum, diameter. But there's something different. About a survivor from 1950. The girth feels familiar. The presence feels heavier. That's the weight of being overlooked for too long. Composition. 95% copper, tin, and zinc. Color. Deep, aged brown, sometimes faded red underneath. Never clean it. That original surface is where the value lives. The front, Lincoln's profile, worn but commanding. In fine condition, the hair blends slightly. The cheek is smoother, but nothing should look sharp or unnatural. The date 1950, paired with the absence of a mint mark, is what pulls collectors in. The back 2 wheat stalks, simplicity where obsession lives. Collectors study die fatigue, subtle weakness in the strike, tiny inconsistencies from how the coin was made under pressure. The quiet auction reality. These coins were everywhere in 1950. Used, abused, tossed into jars, dropped into machines. Most were lost, damaged, or altered. So when one shows up today in fine condition with original toning, it becomes something else entirely. Quiet auctions, steady bids, then suddenly a spike. Because 2 collectors recognize the same thing at the same moment. Right now. Coins like this are reaching around 130,000 in today's market. Do not spend this coin. If you find a 1950 with no mint mark, pause. Check the surface. Is the toning natural? Is the wear even? Professional grading is not optional. It's critical. The 1919 old circulated wheat penny. The one everyone throws away. Most people would throw this coin away without a second thought. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. A 1919 wheat penny with no mint mark, worn, dark, heavily circulated. It looks like the kind of coin you'd ignore at the bottom of a drawer. But that exact mindset is why hidden treasure keeps slipping through people's hands. 1919, the aftermath of war. 1919 wasn't just another year. It was the aftermath of World War I. The United States was shifting from war, production back to civilian life. Industries were unstable. The economy was trying to rebalance after massive global conflict. The Philadelphia Mint, again, no mint mark, was working hard to meet circulation needs. Here's the twist. Because there's no mint mark, people assume it's ordinary. But in 1919, that no mint mark means it came from the busiest, most strained mint in the country. During one of the most unpredictable economic moments in U.S. history, what old circulation looks like. Pick it up. 3 oz G, 19 mm diameter, but the girth feels different. The edges are softened, almost rounded from years of exchange. The surface isn't smooth, it's lived in. Every tiny mark, every worn patch, every uneven tone is part of its journey. This isn't damage, this is survival. Composition. 95% copper with tin and zinc. Over time, that copper develops deep, dark toning, browns, charcoals, sometimes near black surfaces. That darkness is not a flaw, that is age. The front, Lincoln's portrait, worn but still powerful. Above him, In God We Trust. To the side, Liberty and the date? 1919, a number that connects directly to a world recovering from war. The back 2 wheat stalks. In circulated condition, the wheat lines may be faded, the lettering slightly softened. That's expected. What matters is balance. Authentic wear, no harsh scratches, no unnatural brightness. The detail that changes everything. It's not about how many were made. It's about how many survived correctly. These coins were used through the Roaring '20s, the Great Depression, World War II, and beyond. They weren't saved. They were spent. Worn down, lost, melted. So when one shows up today, even in old circulated condition, with honest wear and original toning, it becomes rare in a way. Most people can't comprehend. Today, coins like this are reaching around $240,000 in the market. Not because they're perfect, because they're real, because they carry untouched history. Final warning. What you do next matters. Most people will never notice these coins. They'll see the wear, the darkness, the age, and assume it's worthless. They'll spend it, lose it, forget it. But not you. Not anymore. Before you spend another penny, before you ignore that old coin sitting in your drawer, check again. Check the date, always. Check the mint mark or missing one. Check the surface. Natural toning, even wear. Never clean a coin, ever. Get it professionally graded. The coins that look the worst can sometimes be worth the most. And the people who recognize them, they're not talking. They're collecting, quietly building wealth one coin at a time. This is not fiction. This is happening every single day. And now you understand something most people don't. What looks ordinary could be a silent fortune waiting for you to notice it.